Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. This is your host Cody Potter. How y'all doing today? We're going to get into some of the plenty of news that we got. We got combine results. We got combine testing. Linebackers, D-line went through the drills yesterday. The Commanders have released Tyler Biadasz, their center, with pretty crazy. He's 28 years old, but injuries have definitely seemed to pile up for him. Tyler's been a good player for us. I think he fought through a really high amount of injuries last year. I mean, you could just tell staying on the ground after plays and things like that. 28 years old, though, kind of crazy, but clearly Anna Peters and these guys, they have a plan. They did the respect to the player by getting him out on the open market before free agency so he could get out there and start negotiating with teams right away. So I like it, unless a team picks him up off of waivers, which I don't think they would do. Tyler Biadasz has been a really good player. We needed a veteran center to kind of handle the calls on the offensive line while Jaden Daniels was a rookie. And then early in his career, I would expect him to still go the veteran route, even though you have, Laramie Tunsil and, Cosme, Connerly will be his second year into the scheme. We'll see what we do as far as re-signing Chris Paul or, Brandon Coleman sliding into the left guard spot. But there is some experience on the line. Having a true vet at the center position, I mean, I'm always a very big proponent of either having a veteran center when you have a young quarterback or having a young center, athletic, big guy, very bright. Center pressure is it's really disruptive for a quarterback, man. I like my quarterbacks to be able to have room in the pocket to step up. Quarterbacks need to be able to feel comfortable in the pocket, and it definitely starts in the center. Center can be a anchor for your team, or it can be a bright spot for your team. And you wanna really solidify the center. Tyler did a great job here, in my opinion. Can we improve the position? Of course we can. There's always, if you're not top of the league, then, whatever. And even that's very relative as far as how that goes. But like I said, I appreciate Tyler, everything that he did. We'll see what happens. Of course, a lot of people are going to, insinuate that this means we're going after Linderbaum or whatever. But, you got to get Linderbaum to put pen to paper. He's the prize free agent at the center position. Outside of that, it gets kind of murky. And I don't know how much of an upgrade you're going to get from that spot. There are some good centers in this draft. I pretty much get one in every mock that I do. That said, whether it's Slaughter, whether it's Jones from Iowa, there's really good center play. I don't think they're, center never really goes in the area where they're grading at. They're devalued position as far as that. Money does end up piling up for centers when you have a really good one, but top of the market deals are always high. But without further ado, we've got to the Tyler thing. I think we're going to start talking about this combine and some of these prospects. Of course, again, it's going to be prospects that we've talked about a lot on here because we are picking higher in the draft. As we go through this draft process, as the combine ends, I will definitely start talking about more second, third, fourth, fifth round guys, things like that. It's not that my boards aren't graded, but when the stars shine, man, we got to talk about the stars. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, a player that we've definitely talked about on here, and honestly, I think realistically we're getting to the point where I had him graded right there as a blue. He's definitely a blue. It didn't really even matter about the combine numbers and things like that, but Sonny Styles is just he's that guy. He is the premier linebacker in this class. He's just getting started. A couple years ago when he was playing safety, he had really good grades for me coming out as a safety. And then, moved to the linebacker position. You could tell he's a little bit raw, but the instincts were there. And you can tell he's really not even filled into his body yet. I mean, it's like look at the measurables there. 6'5", 244. To run a 4.47, man, 4.46 or whatever it was officially at the combine, man. This guy is a horse. I mean, a true top 10 worthy pick, and it's not. I don't care about the numbers we're always going to be what the numbers are going to be. I don't get in arm length certain things. Yes, it's nice to have. We'll talk about that a lot with Ruben Bain over the course of this draft season. But for Sonny Styles, man, it's what did you see on tape? Everything that I saw on tape said he was a top 10 player. fringe, like my grading just stylistically. And the reason that I wasn't giving him a blue was the simple fact that he hasn't played linebacker for 3-4 years, like most linebacker prospects would have. He's a position switch. Like I said, really, really good from the safety position, really, really good at the linebacker position. So honestly, in the end, he really should have had a blue grade from me anyway. It wasn't Ohio State bias or anything like that. It just, I just, it's hard. For me to be a blue chip, you want to see the years of continuation of, ascension in their game, to switch a position, to see some of the nuances of playing that position on tape where you're like, okay, yep, he'll fix that, or he needs work on that. Dude, realistically, Sonny Styles is a blue chip player. He will go top 10 in this draft. I mean, maybe top 12 is probably the floor for him. When you're that athletic, I think the mental makeup, everything that comes with him mentally on and off the field, the way that he came and competed in the combine, didn't have to. I mean, he was going to be the number one linebacker regardless in a deep linebacker class. He left no doubt. He left no doubt for anybody to really make up ground on him. Not that I thought anybody was going to be able to make up ground on him, maybe C.J. Allen or something like that, but that was never going to happen. The tape is the tape, ultimately, and whether somebody blew up the combine or anything, that nobody has the tape that Sonny Styles has. Arvell Reese blew up the combine as well, ran the same exact time, very similar measurables. One is going to be playing off-ball linebacker. One is probably going to be playing edge. Could be playing off-ball linebacker in a 3-4 system. I think that's actually Arvell Reese's best position going forward. The reason Arvell Reese is grading what he's grading for me is I think his best skill set is actually playing off-ball linebacker. I think it's his coverage ability. I think it's the way that he mirrors guys in coverage. He can play the zone. He drops out, sideline to sideline speed, things like that. Like he's a very, very good player. Well, if you're going to put him at 3-4 outside linebacker, a lot of the best traits that Arvell Reese has, he's not going to be able to play with them traits because he's going to be rushing the passer coming forward. Not saying he can't rush the passer. He definitely can. He showed that. The consistency is going to be a thing. Learning a position in the NFL is not the easiest thing to do. It's not where I want to be spending a top 10 pick. For me, personally. If we drafted Arvell Reese, I'd be excited. I do see the skill set. I think he has a floor at a certain point where it's like, okay, we just did not maximize this guy as a outside edge rusher. We can always play him as a really, really dynamic off-ball linebacker. I think there is a world where that is a floor for him. But again, that's 2-3 years down the line, and then you're going to have to pay him after that 4th season. There's a lot of things that go into it, man. But you want to maximize each pick, and you want the pick to come out and be in a position to succeed early, often, right away. That is my only concern with Arvell Reese. I think Arvell Reese is a stud. I mean, you just watch him, dude. He's yoked up. He's rocked up. He's athletic as shit. Does have some instinctual elements to his game, just not a lot of starting time and things like that, not a lot of reps, and that's another reason why he doesn't get the blue chip grade for me. Consistency, man. 1-year starters, it's hard to give a 1-year starter a blue chip grade. I mean, you basically got to come out and look like Micah Parsons at Penn State. And then, even then, Micah Parsons was a multi-year starter, and you knew what you were getting from him, and he even sat out as a COVID player and still should have gone top 5. So again, anyway, Arvell Reese is definitely done everything that he needed to do at the combine, everything that he knew he was going to do at the combine. He blew the roof off, 4.46, same time as Sonny Styles. Both of them are 6'5". Both of them are, 250, 260 pounds. 244 in Sonny Styles' case, but 255, 260 pounds for Arvell Reese. I mean, both of these guys are very, very big. Both of these guys are very, very good players. I'm not going to be surprised if either of these guys are gone before the Commanders pick. I think Sonny Styles has a little bit better chance of staying around, but it really depends on what the teams in front of the Commanders do. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of things to like from a lot of these players, and Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, they're going early, draft day 1. They're going to be a number 1 pick for a team. They're going to make a team look really, really smart for picking them. In my belief, I think Arvell Reese is going to shine as an NFL football player. I do think he is the most scheme-dependent guy as far as where he goes and who the coaching staff is, what the plan is for him, the players that are going to be around him, and how they use him as an attack player. But he has everything to be that player. Another player that, honestly, I think I always kind of felt like he was going to be the, think his floor is honestly the 4th pick. I never really thought he had a chance to make it to the Commanders. I just think he's that good. I think the measurables were always going to be the best in the class, but David Bailey, if he's there, I mean he is the blue chip edge for me in this class. He's the only player that really graded out at that as a blue chip edge. I will get more into that about the Ruben Payne thing and why I did not give Ruben Payne a blue chip. It has nothing to do with bias. It has nothing to do with being a Miami fan and not trying to give him something that I think he earned. There's a lot of things that go into a true blue chip. Measurables are one of those things. You can either be biased and you can say that the tape is so good that the measurables aren't a thing, but at the end of the day, player is what they are. And it's very, very hard to give 6'5" Myles Garrett with 35-inch arms a grade and then go back a couple years later and you see a guy who's 6'2", 6'3", 15 pounds lighter than him, who's not going to run the same as him with 4-inch smaller arms and give them players the same grade. It's very, very hard to do that. So again, measurables do come into grading. David Bailey has all the measurables. 251 pounds, ran a 4.5 flat. This dude is explosive. 10-yard split was good. Everything that you knew you were going to see from this guy at the combine, you got to see the vertical jump, explosive ability, every testing measurable. I don't know if he's going to do the broad jump. I didn't get the broad jump numbers yet. If he did, the movement skills are good. I mean, honestly, this guy could play outside linebacker in a 3-4. He could drop into coverage and do all the things that I was talking about Arvell Reese shining at. This guy can do all these things, but predominantly when you're a 3-4 edge or playing an edge, you're coming forward. You want that guy wreaking havoc on the quarterback. You want that guy breaking up plays in the run game. David Bailey, I mean, he went beast mode. He went beast mode against Oregon. He went beast mode at the end of the season for Texas Tech. I mean, he had a really, really great season. You knew what he was going to be. Yes, having, Lee Hunter beside him, at the nose, having, Romello Height across from him. Whatever you want to say, man. I mean, you can say that for Bain with Akeem Mazador and all the guys that he had. You can say with Caden Curry, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. Again, man, when good teams always have a plethora of talent. And I mean, you just have to scout the individual player. David Bailey was always, in my opinion, going to be the first edge off the board. Could Arvell Reese be the first edge off the board if that's what you're going to, classify him at? Yes, I mean, it's very, very possible. I think Arvell Reese is an off-ball linebacker. I graded him as an off-ball linebacker because I think that is his best skill set. And even at that, I did not give him a blue chip grade. If he was a pure 100%, 2 years of film, off-ball linebacker with what I saw last year, he'd have a blue chip grade. He's got 1 year of real starting experience. The highway speed is great. It gets you somewhere. It gets you in a realm. He was very, very bright, very, very talented. You saw the things. If he had a really, really good playoff against Miami, if he had finished the season strong against Indiana, maybe he is a blue. Again, when I give a blue chip grade, it's because I would 100% stand behind that player going into the NFL and scheme diverse. Scheme diverse is always something that I'm going to say. Scheme diverse. As in, if he goes to the Washington Commanders, if he goes to the New York Jets, if he goes to the Cleveland Browns, if he goes to the Oakland Raiders, regardless of coaching staff, whoever is going to be there in 2 years with another scheme, whatever it's going to be, is that guy going to thrive in that scheme? That's what a blue chip player is. When I give Arvell Reese a grade, I think he is a very scheme-dependent player. So I think he needs to be in a certain scheme, certain coaching staff, things like that. I cannot give you a blue chip grade when you come to that. Are you a blue chip talent? Hell yeah. I take nothing away from the player. Like, it's not a disrespect thing. It's just grading. It's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult. Years go into it, and it's a lot of notes compiled. Strength and weaknesses adding up. It's looking at what the player is, looking what they can be, looking who they are, and then looking at deficiencies in their game over the course of the years, and looking at the deficiencies when they add up. It's like, okay, maybe this guy really should not go into this scheme, as talented as he is. Is he a blue in this scheme? Yes. Is he a blue in this scheme? No. It's a lot goes into it. So to be a true blue chip player, you got to be able to go from scheme to scheme and still be an impact player. And I don't have that many in this draft. Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, David Bailey, Fernando Mendoza. I think he's blue, and very easy for me. But Love, Jeremiah Love. the running back from Notre Dame. He's my highest graded player. Very simple as that. I would pick Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. I don't care devalued running back position or not. If I was looking at the board, it went Mendoza, then it went Downs and Reese and Bain, and Bailey. However it goes. But if all the top players weren't there, yeah, I'm picking Jeremiah Love if he's there, if he's available for us. I did a mock yesterday where it was Downs, Styles, Love, Bain, and Bailey that were gone outside of Mendoza. So the best player available was Arvell Reese. I took him. I mean, it is what it is. Best player available. I live by that. I think this team needs to get the best available player. You don't pick in the top 10. Even bad teams don't pick in the top 10 year after year after year after year after year. And when they do, it's generally a problem. The Raiders have been. And even them, they still get them years where they're outside in 11, 12, 13, things like that. And biggest thing is making sure you maximize when you are in this range. If you are in this range drafting, you better get the Arvell Reese. You better get the Jeremiah Love. You better get the David Bailey, because them guys there's only a few of them guys. Once you get past that top tier of players, man, the fall off in these grades is pretty significant. And honestly, once you get to them fall off grades, those grades are rock solid till the fourth round. Like, you could mix and match certain players that are going to get picked in the end of the first round to the end of the third round. And honestly, I probably have very similar grades on most of those players. So being in this draft, if you're outside of the top 10, it's going to be very, very hard, to find the value that you're normally looking for in that range. Because once I get outside of my top 8 players, and I'm just being honest with you, my top 8 players, my grades start looking more like end of first round players. It's just what it is. So there's a little bit of a jump off for me as far as what I'm seeing in my grades. I'm not saying that the combine can't change a little tick here or there. Somebody moves a little bit better. I have to go back and watch a little bit more film on them just to see if the movement skills actually show up in pads. Some of the running things. I mean, some of the linebackers already maybe. I mean, the linebackers were fast. Jacob Rodriguez, they were talking about him physically, things like that. 4.5, almost 4.5, very, very low 4.6s. These are fast times. I mean, these are really fast times. I know the linebacker size has gotten smaller over the course of the years, but even, Jack Kelly from BYU ran really, really good times. So again, man, we're going to be covering this combine all weekend long. I've kind of been busy as shit, work and things like that. Getting some of these notes. There's going to be a ton of information. I really didn't even get to talk about what Dan Camp, one day I say Dan Quinn, next day I say Dan Campbell. I talk about the Lions as Dan Quinn, and when I talk about the Commanders as Dan Campbell, I mess that up all the time. Two very, 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 very great coaches. I love both of them. Anyway, I'm going to be getting a lot of information to you from this combine. We will talk about some of the things that AP and Dan Quinn said probably on the next episode. I appreciate you guys sticking around for the Blue Chip Pod. We're going to talk about a lot of players from now till April, until the draft. It's not just going to be Commanders based. We're going to be doing some more mock drafts. We're going to do some mock off seasons, because right when the combine's done, it is straight to free agency. We're going to talk a lot of free agency stuff in the next week or two. And then on and on. Again, we're already getting free agency news. We have trades that are going to be taking place once the league year is accepted between the Jets and the Titans. T'Vondre Sweat is a player that I really, really like that went to the Titans. He's a little bit big. Probably needs to lose a little bit of weight, to keep in a better play shape. But, I mean, he's very disruptive from a nose. The Jets get somebody that they had drafted back when Robert Saleh was there, and Jermaine Johnson. Really, really good dynamic edge. Has, kind of had some injuries and things like that to, go play through, but he has been disruptive when he's been on the field, so I think that's a really, really good value for the Titans. They get some edge rusher. Does that stop them from drafting David Bailey or Ruben Bain? I don't think so, but, we can only hope as a Commanders fan, because ideally I do want an edge. Would I reach for an edge? No. Would I take, certain guys that aren't Robert, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese at 7? No. If I trade back, you start to put some other names into the conversation. But if I'm trading back, you better get a haul. So again, we're going to keep getting into this combine. I think we got offensive line. is usually the last day. I know receivers, cornerbacks, and things like that are coming up. This weekend's going to be very, very busy, very, very full of fast times. If the linebackers are running this, trust me, these running backs, these wide receivers are going to be turning out sometimes. So, again, I appreciate you guys sticking around for the Blue Chip Podcast. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll keep getting this thing to you. Thank you. Bye.